Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become. In being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 265th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Cramond, and I'll be host today. And we're hosting the members of the Universal Council who will be presenting today's workshop. And I believe we're ready to begin that process. And I believe Marie will be starting here. Hello, Marie.
Hello, Rick, and hello and welcome to all souls in existence. Everyone is included in this show. The One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. I am Marie, and I'm a Universal Council member for the Norwegian language. And I have been doing some studying, and I found some very, very interesting parts in the Knowledge Seekers Workshop 474. So it's a couple of workshops ago. And this, what I am going to read is from 1 hour and 5 minutes and 19 seconds. And I called it the soul plasma generator. And actually, I had heard this workshop on my phone, but I didn't catch this because it's very, very interesting. Okay, so this is Mr. Keshe, who is lecturing us, knowledge seekers. Thou shalt not kill. It's not to kill another man, which was interpreted by now. Thou shalt not kill an animal. Thou shalt not kill another citizen of this planet. Thou shalt not kill another citizen of this universe or of the universe, because thou knows how to tap into the energy without killing. That's the whole message. Thou shalt not kill, because thou shalt have the understanding and the knowledge that does not need to kill. It fulfills the promise in the true essence of it, and not just by the word and verb of it, because you know how to tap into the energies of the universe. You came to the center. You saw and went, and you swam with the fishes, and you saw the ex-husbands and present husbands and the future husband and everything else. Because you was not you. It's the soul of you who showed you the path. This is what is to come. This is what we try to expand into energy. This is how in the coming time, I show you how to convert carbon 14 into carbon 12 and back to carbon 14, and you live. Keshe Foundation today, at this moment, has made access and development of what we call the machine, which can create the soul of plasma. Soul plasma generator is in our hands, has been made physical, and it works, and it will work exactly in the essence of interaction of the soul without the matter state coming into it. Now that our knowledge seekers have understood this, you will see even the enhancement units will change in the next few weeks, because we have managed to access, to teach our knowledge seekers to create the first soul plasma creator. The soul generator is with us, and it is not that you can do anything with it. The only thing you can benefit by it is to elevate your soul to be able to interact with other souls without physicality. Many of you will rise the dead the same as Christ did, because you touch the soul. Physicality is just a gimmick. And those who build it the first time, they have felt it, the strength of it, the emotion of it, and the truth about it. Then there shall be no illnesses amongst the children of the man, and there will be no ill intentions amongst the children of the man. And our knowledge seekers, understanding and accessing this new technology, already the next generation of the enhancement plasma units has gone into operation to be built. It's a leap of centuries, thousands of years of research from now. Man would not have had achieved this, even coming another hundreds of years. Is the gift for the sincerity of people who work with us. And you benefit because of their sincerity and the way it has worked. Plasma soul generators are so powerful that once man hold them in his hand, will see the creator's dimension of creation and the power which it carries. Only a fool will memorize and a fool will abuse. This should make you more humble and, in a way, obedient to the laws of the Mitra and nothing else. It's not where we talk. Now we have developed the technology which creates carbon-14 at the strength of the soul without the conversion of the physicality of the man, conversion from carbon-12 to the essence of the creation of its space, which is the hydrogen. In a way, we have created for the first time a system which generates nothing but fields at the strength of the soul of the creator. Those who hold it understand its power and majesty. Those who abuse it will see the annihilation of their race, as simple as that. And once you touch it, it will stay with you and you become accessible to the fields of the universe. In the next few weeks, we show you the system, and maybe with it, it will bring the change to humanity. So that is very exciting news, if you ask me. It's fantastic. Thank you. Let's go to the next slide.
Hello everyone, this is Jaco. I welcome you also all the souls in, on and beyond Earth. So this is our wish for today. We, the Universal Council, wish for the UC to be one. In the 24th of March, dining with the world leaders. To offer them the pathway to elevation of their souls with a bouquet of the knowledge of the Creator, with the order of peace. It is exactly, sorry?
I was going to say we are present.
We are present because in 10 days this event will happen, and till this 10 days we have time to prepare ourselves to become present in this wish, and we know that our wish is our command. So in everything that we're preparing, we're doing this 9 o'clock meetings to unify the souls. We do it on the Universal Council member level, but also on all the knowledge seekers, the supporters, and all souls in existence. Because this time, what we just heard from Marie with the technology that is in reach from now on, we will enter a new dimension. Something that till now, it simply was not possible. And with this, the change will come. And in our ethos of the Universal Council, it is said that everyone has to be held equal. No difference, no higher, no lower. We will see later on what this means. And in the end, it is very clear that without the technology, without this knowledge that Mr. Keshe is offering, that the foundation is offering, without that, it would not be possible. So it is really a bright future that we're heading for. And I see forward to do it, to go this pathway with you. So the next slide, please. We come to this minute of silence. As we see, it's not only elevation for some or for humanity, but it is for the elevation of all souls in existence. To become to this unified situation. We start now. Thank you very much. I would like to ask you, if you think about it during the day or during the night, please go in this connection and feel the vibe, the energy that is there. Because this connection is only in the beginning. It will be much, much more. The more we understand how this connection works, what we can do, and then we come back to the work of the council, we will see that it is necessary that we have this connection. So thank you very much for participating. We can go to the next slide, please.
Hello again, this is Marie. If you recognize that picture, it's from the 476 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And I found another part of that. It's pretty late in the teaching, the first part of the teaching, and then in the end of that, it's 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 15 seconds. And the message from Mr. Keshe is so important that we need to hear it. So I will read that part too. I made man in the image of myself, but my image appears in trillions of ways and dimensions across the universe, in other men of the universe. Because what is the image of me in the man is the essence of my generosity and love and nothing else. Man can be blind, legless, or armless, but man cannot be heartless. To cheat his dimension of physicality to the dimension of the soul of physicality with the soul of itself. Now understand the technology, understand the knowledge, and try to understand the fields, not the ganses. Today's teaching is very deep, but you as knowledge seekers have been taught enough to be able to swim the depth of the knowledge and don't get entangled to the physicality of the magravs and the ganses and your own false imagination. I am the Messiah, but the Messiah for my own soul only. I cannot save your souls, but I can teach you how to save yourself if you understand it and choose the path for yourself. Not the way I came and the way I did it. Otherwise, you become another monkey on the tree of the monkeyness of the universe. Understand the technology of the creation. And man has a habit that once he understands the technology, he creates the machinery for it to be able to do it. That's what we have done in Linz for you. In the physical dimension, we have created the enhancement unit. In the dimension of the soul, we allow the soul of the man to be freed. It's you who has to choose the freedom, not us. We open the cage. It's you who has to be the bird who comes out of the cage and take wing in the fields of the universe and flies in every dimension. But the cage is open for you to come back in and live the dimension of the physicality. This image on the screen has a lot of meaning and is, if you understood, takes the shackles of physicality from the man without any profit, without any intermediaries and cheaters like alatoyas and mullahs and the priests. You might think I refer to them a lot today because we're finished with them today. We don't need no intermediary. When the man now understands his connection with his creator and the universe, no cheating and no cheaters, unless you want to be the monkey to be cheated. It's you who decides how the soul expands. And when you expand, you accept the expansion and understanding and interaction with the others. Thank you.
So before I forget, I'm the representative of the Dutch language in the Universal Council as a member. This picture is called Guidance. I took it last Saturday. I was traveling to the north part of Italy, and this is in the city called Como, a wonderful place with a wonderful lake. And this house we see, this memorial, is called Volta. And it is in memorial of the man who gave the name of the voltage we use today in the physicality. And this voltage is very important when we remember Mr. Keshe explaining the energy package and the lowering of this voltage in the cell that can reverse the problems the energy package made. And of course, in physicality, it's only one kind of describing an energy level, but it is a very important one. If we see these trees, these are cherry blossoms. It smelled fantastic walking around in this park. And it is all the energies coming from the universe that make this life happening. I was walking through the city. There were a lot of people. There was a marketplace with a lot of people trying to sell their products. And I sit on the terrace watching them. And I was thinking, what would happen if they all would accept the enhancement of the soul in this moment? And as we know, we can offer it. We do not force it. And it's up to them to accept. And in time, all the souls will accept. So please continue, don't stop with our unification, with the enhancement, with the offering of this enhancement to all. We will bring the change. And that is as a guidance of all souls in existence. So the next slide, please. This is an excerpt of the Charter, Universal Council Charter. And I think it is important to go through this so that we understand how this functions and what is the plan behind the Universal Council and what is to come. So one nation, global guidance. It's one nation, one planet, one race, with all of us united together as one nation, one planet, one race. We work together through our souls, and our unity manifests the solutions in matter state. So you see, here is the key to the change of all the problems we have in the matter state. And there's a lot of work still to do, but this is the way. Next slide, please. The guiding principles. The Universal Council guarantees that souls who and which live or live on this planet will obey the rules of peaceful coexistence on Earth and beyond. And the only course from this point on for all souls is to be in peace and in harmony at all times. This council is and will be the true reflection of the whole of humanity on Earth and in space. And as we know, the council is the connection between humanity and our universal community. So very soon we will experience these connections, because it is necessary. In this connection, we learn more from them and they learn from us. We are specialists in the physicality and try to get rid of it, and some of them are visiting our planet to do the opposite. And the goal is that they can do it freely without the fear of showing themselves as they really are. And that is what in future will be. Next slide, please. So there are several points that brought up in the charter. The Universal Council policies and their execution. Setting up and integrating procedures, team logistic, achieving fair and balanced global coordination structure. The protection of beings and global peace. The justice for all beings with protection, equality for all lives. The relations and communications. Relations and communications are established peacefully through the presence and interactions of the UC language and their supporters, guiding the communities with a new ethos, living in harmony, freedom of travel, equality, and respect of any differences in race. Creating abundance, creating peace through redistribution of all social resources, through hospitality and ensuring an abundance of food, shelter, and establishing a thriving income for each individual. Establishing access to education. Universal education is the right of every single human to have. Access to reverse conditions. Every individual needs to have access to the knowledge of how to reverse any condition. Humanitarian service. In case of imminent disasters on this planet or in the universe, we work through the soul and elevate humanity. Connecting to other souls will create the opportunity to support souls anywhere on this planet. The ethos and the conduct. Every soul carries the ability of the knowledge between right and wrong. We, the Universal Council, through our conduct, show the path. Now, when I was reading this before, it came so clear to me that without the technology that Mr. Keshe is offering today, how could we reach these goals? It's almost impossible. And we tried it, as Jalal said, for thousands of years. So we're still working on it. But now this opportunity we have at this moment is unique. Next slide, please. So here we see how this functions on the soul level. The communication on the soul level is the key to combine and to fulfill all these rules or legislation, we can call it. It all comes together on this level of communication. And we see what comes in. Any wish can arrive from any direction or any level. The line of communication with universal community opens up these possibilities. And they implemented by the UC, the core team, the Earth Council, UC supporters, language communities, knowledge seekers, and the Foundation. And from that, if we combine what the soul's wishes are, the solutions will be decided and delivered. Is there anyone who wants to add something to this? Because I think it is very important that we understand what is to come, what is expected from us. I think if we follow this path, it comes good. Okay, then we go to the next slide, please. Marie, question,
Yes.
did you plan Andreas here, or?
Yes, I asked him to come in after those commandments.
Okay.
So I think we do that in that room. So we can go to the next slide. We are here to serve one planet, one solution. Okay. Yeah. I see. I have a. Okay. This is one of the commandments, number 4. Remember the Sabbath day by keep it holy. And that was my choice of commandments today. And the reason for that is that I find it hard to keep the Sunday or one day a week out of work or any kind of work in a way. But this Sunday I actually achieved it, and I felt really good about it. So it was time for contemplation and relaxing and enjoying nature and everyone around me. And I'm looking for something that I posted to Jacko the other day, because I was also a lot on the internet. So I found some things about the Sabbath day. And I will read this very short. It says, for 6 days work is to be done, but the 7th day shall be your holy day, a day of Sabbath rest to the Lord. And this is from the Bible, and it says Exodus 35:2. And to be honest, I haven't read the Bible, but so I think in relevance to what Mr. Keshe is teaching us, especially with the commandments, I finally find everything from the Bible very interesting. And here is another one. It says Mark 2:27. I don't know if that's Marcus, because it's these disciples who wrote this. And he said to them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. It's like Mr. Keshe could have said that, but maybe it's from the same source. And this is a comment from this chat that I found this from the Bible in. Deliberately taking time to block out daily course and work to grow one's relationship with God and spend time with Him and worship Him. What a blessed gift. So God or the Creator, I think it's all the same. And I think it's necessary. We have received so much knowledge through Mr. Keshe from the Creator that we need to sit down and contemplate. And I think the Sabbath day is a great day to do that. I think that's what I wanted to say about the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. And I will continue to have one day a week, or preferably the Sunday, to do that. So I hope others think that's interesting. And it's actually one of the commandments. And in another script that I read, it says that if you want to arrive at the gates of the Creator, you need to be obedient to the commandments. So I think then we need to keep the Sunday out of work and keep it for contemplation over creation. Thank you. There anyone else? Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. It's Mehran, UCS Farsi language. An honor, great happiness I can join you. It's not it's not that I forgot you. I just didn't have enough internet. But I miss you very much, all of you. I love you very much. And I'm happy to be back. And great joy. Thank you very much, all of you. And in what you just said, I'm very talkative, so you'll stop me. In fact, when we talk about Bible, we mean all the books. We mean all the religious books. And because they're all the same with little cultural difference, with little time trace difference. So, but it's all the same Creator, which talks to the people of that time with somebody who talks their language. But the essence is always the same. The true essence is always the same. Like we have Sunday, the prayer day for Christians. Sabbath is for Jewish, and Friday is for the Muslims. And as far as the day off, it means that during the day, we are so anxious of what we have to do in next hour, in next few hours till the end. And then we are tired, we go home. We try to do things, we cannot, we are too tired, we sleep. What it means for me, the day off means I have no anxiety to do anything else. I'm just sitting there. And then I can tell myself, now that I'm sitting there, I think deeply, a little bit more deeply than other days, which is very useful to think deeply. And then I can go inside myself because I have no anxiety to do this, to do that, and I have a rendezvous at what time to see anybody or what. So I sit there, I take my time. And when I take my time without anxiety, I can go deeper without any anxiousness. And that's where we find God. That's where we find wisdom, very hopefully. And then it depends on people. But normally when we have no anxiety, we can go deeper in thought than when we are busy doing things. And the other thing was well, that complete contemplation also, which in Islam, they say 10 minutes of contemplation is equal to years of praying, the standard praying. So, and Mary is right that we have so much information. We need some time to look around, to look at stars, to look at like I have in front of me a branch of green plant, which I put in the water. And it has given a lot of small branches of 3-4 centimeters. When I look at this, what do I see? I see how life was hidden in these branches. And now that it's a spring, it's a good environment, it's a good sunshine, it's a good potential, it's a good, what we call it, the balance of micrographs. It's in this potential, it's in this condition. The small branches is coming out of this one branch. And it's so amazing, this little thing which was dark green, and now it's the light green leaves coming out. That's life. Nothing dies. It comes out when the time is good. Our soul comes out when the time is right. So nothing is dying. And that's the whole thing of plasma potential, that it comes out when the condition is good. And that's kind of contemplation with just one branch, which is actually 3 branches in one branch, that it become alive because of the spring. So, well, as an Iranian, we have really the spring season ceremonies now. Everybody, we make the grain of wheat, we make it grow. We make everything grow. Everything is the symbolic of new year, new life, growing life. So people are very happy in the streets these days because of the new year in 5 days. So I wish you all the very good Iranian Persian New Year, which is exactly the same moment the time comes new, the spring starts, the exact second, which I don't know exactly when it is. It's in 5 days. So, well, thank you for receiving me. I'm glad to be back again with my friends. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Rick. So,
thank you, Marinus.
Thank you, Marinus. It's good to hear your voice. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Then I think we can go to the next slide, Rick. The secret of water. We are going to listen to Mr. Keshe, but first I want to read a small text, Rick. So just keep this slide. And what we are going to hear from Mr. Keshe is from the 475th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And it's about 18 minutes out in the teaching. But in the end of the teaching, the same teaching, he says something that I think is really interesting. So I'm going to read that. It's not many sentences. Up to today, you never understood why you drink water. What's the reason? The minute you touch the water on your lips, the thirst goes. It is a rapid conversion in the vacuum body of the man to open up the hydrogen in releasing the energy of the oxygen to become equal to the cosmic rays, that it reaches every single cell of the body of the man. Drink more, Mr. Keshe says. Okay, are you ready, Rick?
Yes, just a second here. Let me share. Okay, can you see the image there now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is from the 475th Knowledge Seekers Workshop of March 2nd, 2023. And we're at about the 18-minute mark. And we'll play through until Marie would like to let us know to stop. Okay, I'll begin.
But the biggest point, which the world of the science of the man have not understood up to date, for the first time, I opened the store, even why you drink water, why your life is connected to water. Water is not something to drink as a thirst. Water is a conversion of carbon-14 to carbon-12 for energy difference for life of the man. You have H2O. 16 needs to lose 2 energy atomic structure to become 14, behaving like a carbon. That allows the universal energy to be absorbed by the man's body. Water is not just a thirst. Water is the essence of the conversion of the fields of the universe to the body of the man. That's why your body contains it. But cannot do it. It's converted. It's there to do. It's there for it to convert it because of the vacuum condition of the body of the man allows that conversion. But how do you plant it? How do you deliver it? The secret sits in that calcium. Calcium has a spectrum from around about 30, 32, energetic-wise, to around about 60. And above. You have, in a simple language, carbon-12 and carbon-14. 3 times carbon-12 is 36. 3 times carbon-14 is 42. Conversion of calcium in the body of the man comes from this. Absorption of the carbon-14 energy to 12 comes from this. But man has missed the biggest secret in his life in understanding. Go back on the teachings. Many times, in the medical teachings, many times, we refer to there is not a single cell in the body of the man which does not contain calcium. Why? Now you understand. The way your body, your brain took direct hit from the cosmic ray 14, absorbed and released whatever it didn't need. Every cell of the man absorbs cosmic rays directly from conversion of the calcium in the seed. The seed calcium in every cell of the man is his soul, is his structure of the absorption of it. Without it, the cell does not exist because it cannot receive the carbon-14 conversion, so it dies. So it dissolves, it releases energy. This is how the cell of the body of the man every 28 days in one place and every 10 years or 4 years changes in another part of the body of the man. If the world of science understands this, if the science of the man understands the conversion point from the cosmic rays into what we call energy connection, then man understands he has found the key to everlasting life. Don't forget, Body of the man is Mr. Cohen. Lives by communication between carbon-14 and carbon-12. But the link to the universe and the body of the man, now you understand what I keep on telling you, 80% of your energy comes from the universe, not by the food you eat. Every cell in your body is not waiting for the energy to come from the food. 20% for dimension of physicality of it to confirm, yes. The rest of it through the seed of the calcium, receiving the cosmic rays, and in a conversion of H2O to carbon-14 conversion to 12 to release its energy to exist. Man exists on this planet. I take the calcium from the seed of your cell, you don't exist. This is why so many of you die with chemotherapy. Because the chemotherapy is very simple. Your bone has holes which goes into and becomes bone marrow. Chemotherapy increases the size of the lymph and blocks the hole. So there is no calcium to be picked up to deliver to start another cycle. Then in what the strength of which calcium you release from which hole into the bone marrow dictates the term of your life. A cell for a heart, a cell for brain, a cell for anything else. Now man understands that the cosmic rays in the carbon-14 coming on the back of the hydrogen into the center body calcium of the man releases at carbon-12 energy. Energy absorbed by the calcium released to the cell of the man. And man needs the other connection to deliver instantaneously. You have H2O. Again delivering carbon-14. If the cosmic rays are blocked by the system. This is why you feel so refreshed when you drink a glass of water. And this is why the reason you die when you have no water. You have no point of conversion. You cannot deliver the energy needed in a carbon-14 structure to the calcium for it to be able to feed, the start of it to feed, to convert energy into the cell for it to survive. This is the essence of the secret of the life on this planet. And this process repeats itself across the universe. It's literally like you're a farmer. You grow the carrots, you grow the potatoes. Maybe you have a cow, maybe you have a pig, you get the milk and the meat. But you need other things to cook. You go to the supermarket, you go to the market, you buy other things, God sells an onion, other things to bring in. That H2O is that onion, because the body has got everything in the house from itself, from the planet Earth. And if man understand this and provide that hydrogen within the structure of the oxygen as an absorber, not as energy releaser, then the secret of life for man across the universe is guaranteed. This is why we ran a week of feeding you. Those of you who joined us last Sunday, stop there. 2 weeks, 10 days ago.
I will encourage everyone to go and listen to this teaching because it's so full of interesting and very deep topics. And this was about water, but it was also about the carbon-14, the cosmic rays, and much more. So there is so much information in this workshop. So thank you for showing our Mr. Keshe in the video, Rick. We can go to back to the presentation. And we go to the next slide. I think I have go one further, please. It should be another, this one here. This is commandment number 14. Thou shalt not rape. We discussed it in the last One Nation, One Planet, One Race. And we have someone who wants to add to the knowledge.
Hi, it's Diane. I'm a UC supporter from Canada. Until recently, I understood thou shalt not rape as a sexual way, but now I understand because of what Rick said, and it's forcing ourselves, our opinions, our understanding, or our way upon others, and not respecting what they think, need, or believe, or feel. Because I don't know, I only know what I know from what I've experienced, and other people have experienced other things. That's why I think Mr. Keshe says, not through the physicality, but through the soul, because we can't reach people, because everybody, my father once told me, there's as many worlds as there are people, because everyone has a different viewpoint. So we gotta let them have that viewpoint. Like when the science of the Keshe Foundation came out, I thought I could reach my son, who was very intellectual, and no way, nothing I can say. I can only do it by soul, by reaching, and I trying to force, trying to rape, but I wasn't thinking of it like that. I was trying to force that upon my kids and even other people. All we could do is share, and they can accept what they're ready to accept or not. Okay, well, that's what I wanted to say, was it's the rape thing. It's so much more than, we all gotta think and feel what we, if we reach the soul, then the soul will teach, and hopefully we'll listen. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to broaden it up a little of what Rick said, and put it in the fields of life where we do it every day and we don't realize what we're doing. Okay, thank you for listening. Blessings, everyone. Okay, I'm done. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Diane.
Yeah.
I think that's it was very interesting what you said, and it's true. You cannot force anyone to listen to you, or because in a way, I think Mr. Keshe said that is what the churches do, or the religious organizations do. They kind of push this on us, but in a way, we need to find our soul and take it from there. And it's also said that all the commandments are needs to be seen from the soul point of view. So it's easy to think that rape is something about physicality, but this commandment is about the soul. Of course, you shouldn't rape in physicality either, but that's common sense in a way. We have another guest. If I wonder if he's here. It's Andreas. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Hello to everyone.
Welcome. You have something exciting for us.
Yes, I hope, but yes.
I'm very excited.
I share now my screen. So I'm here in the translating in the other meeting room. Here I can choose it. Now you windows everywhere. Now you should see the commandment screen, or?
Yes, we
Yes.
see that.
Perfect, perfect. At first, thank you very much for the today's workshop. It was very interesting, the topics which you have chosen for today, and also for me to remember on a few things. Drinking water, for example, because 2 weeks ago I started in eating nothing, but at first 2 days nothing, then 3 days nothing, then 4 days nothing, and 4 days nothing again. And today I'm again on the since Sunday on the second day, and I don't know where the travel will bring me to. I just tried and I experience very much beauty, very much. It's hard to explain, but the food that are emotions, you eat it because you want emotions, and then these emotions work in yourself, in your field, in your thoughts, in your emotions, how you feel and so on. And when you don't eat, you're clean, and you suddenly observe things what you have never noticed before. And so, for example, the last 2-3 days, I caught also an energy pack, and I made also a bath with the Cup of Life one. But it was also, I started then today to enjoy this energy pack, and suddenly the condition got better and better, and I don't feel ill anymore. Or had I just, when it's about, because that is what we have to learn, to keep the soul expanded over the physicality. Somehow I can feel this expansion more often, because there are just not such disturbing emotions from food. But I don't know if I will stop completely. Now I will try it at least, but I'm for sure more aware of what I eat, because I tried different things in the days between the not eating, and then eating becomes a total new experience, because the taste is totally different. But there are foods we eat like chips or a lot of things. When you eat them, then you feel it breaks you down, or that are not good emotions. You feel that they are not good. I don't know if it's for everyone with chips, but for me, I felt it very ugly. The feeling of it, or the emotion, the energy. However, so I'm just thankful for this beautiful workshop today, for the knowledge of Mr. Keshe. Yes, a lot of you know, we worked the last month, since 3-4 months, on the commandments, and yeah, our plan was since the beginning to make a PDF out of it, which is easy to translate, what we can then give into the Telegram groups or spread it as an English file, but which is also easy to translate. And in order that humanity or the knowledge seekers have it easier to understand the commandments, have it easier to translate them and share their understanding with their communities. And so we created a PDF, and yeah, it's not fully finished, because we realized yesterday or a few days ago that we have problems with the compatibility when we share it, we use Microsoft Office, LibreOffice, and so on. And we got aware of this problem. And so I believe tomorrow we can finish it. We will meet today with Elias, who helped here a lot in layouting and formatting. And in this week, then also the PowerPoint will be finished, where the languages have it easier to translate directly in it. And this will then distribute it over the Universal Council members, so they can give it then to their language. But the normal PDF, which is not changeable, this will land in the chats. And also we have the transcription of the 204th Knowledge Seeker workshop with chapters and timestamps, so that it helps maybe a little bit in studying through it and understanding more. For us, we worked as a few people on it. And for us, I believe I can say it for everyone, the journey of understanding and studying it was beautiful. And we wish that this document serves also all others who read it. And here you can see the known picture again with the 24 commandments. But what is new is here an introduction, which we wrote, or then a passage from other knowledge seeker workshop, an excerpt. And there are a lot of excerpts and a lot of pages, so you can use, for example, every page for one meeting or 2 excerpts. It's really a lot of time what you can spend in opening up what is written there. Or here, for example, this was Marie who asked Mr. Keshe if we can use the transcripts of private teaching, and yes, and they are really important. In addition to it, really great that they are there, because you can understand much more. Yeah, and then we have the 10 commandments, like we had one today. Here the pages are still empty because your Mr. Keshe said nothing to that, for example, but maybe in the future he will. And here is empty space for everyone, for every language group to make their own researches or take excerpts and to keep on expanding this document. And by the way, this will be the new Bible in the future. Yeah, so they have here the first commandments. Here we have at commandment number 8. These are excerpts out of the 204th Knowledge Seeker workshop. The most excerpts are from there, or nearly all. And here we have then the missing commandments, which Mr. Keshe completed. Here we have every time the excerpts out of the 204th Knowledge Seeker workshop. And if there are some available, then you have excerpts of private teachings. And this goes through the whole document. And as I said again, Mr. Keshe spoke also in the last Knowledge Seeker workshops about the commandments, like Marie has chosen an excerpt today. And it would be really cool if also other language groups can expand this document and bring, just develop it forward. And this will help the whole humanity to understand more. And then at the end, we have here at number 24, new excerpts came out of the 204th Knowledge Seeker workshop, which seem to be important, also like the commandments of the universe. And then we have special pages again with like the soul is the mirror image of the creator, which we know it's again a topic where you can discuss hours long about that, like we discussed it in here in the One Nation or in other workshops. Or the meaning of Messiah, reaching the maturity of man. And then closing words. And also then there is a list of the One Nations since the 20th December, where you presented the commandments. And I hope and wish that this document will serve a lot of more knowledge seekers to understand more and to share the beauty of this understanding. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Andreas. It's so beautiful. It's a lot of work, and it's very beautiful and useful for teachers and all the language groups and everyone. Beautiful sharing. Thank you so much.
Thank you also for working on it, and all the knowledge seekers from around the world who were suddenly here to help and to enjoy it, to help and to learn. And it was a beautiful and intense learning phase over the last month. Thank you for that to everyone.
Dankeschön, Andreas.
Maybe we jumped over that. There's yes, this one.
Hier war jetzt gerade das Mikrofon zu bei mir in diesem Chat.
Okay, so this is the part of the One Planet, One Nation, One Race, where everyone can raise their voice and bring their needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council. So we become as one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace.
This is Mosfeq. I'm going to talk a little bit about today's commandment about the Sabbath. So the physical separation from work and taking time off, this is the physical level. So how do we translate this particular commandment to soul level? One of the things that often ignored, I mean, in most religious practices, is the attention to the soul's capacity. So taking time off from physical activity, one can direct one's attention towards the soul aspect, soul's capacity, soul's relationship, soul of man's relationship with soul of physicality and physicality. And this kind of observation or actions require detachment from our physical activities. And this is something does not come easily. As you know, I live in a Muslim country where we have prayers, 5 times prayers and all that. All of these are designed to make this separation so that one can make an attempt to connect with the soul dimension. with Mr. Keshe's teaching, now that we are much more well aware of the operation of the soul, not necessarily only theoretically or in understanding, but actually applying it in our work and all that, it is important to take time off. I'm not necessarily according to this, excuse me, there's this horn going on, but not necessarily according to the days of the calendar or something, but the time that, you know, the way the soul's operation happen, it's not so much dependent on the solar movement of the sun or moon or all that. We have our own sun and its own season and own day and night. So sometimes souls are much more active or can be observed to be operating at a different capacity. All of these require taking the Sabbath of soul. How the soul is coming into our daily activity, our soul of physicality, also physicality. Sometimes it interrupts, sometimes it encourages, things like that. And all of these require a degree of detachment from physical activity. And this particular commandment is, to me, points to that direction, because, you know, once one engages in such efforts, one can see how the soul complements all the time our actions, our thoughts, our feelings. All of these can be observed, and as a consequence, we learn to appreciate soul's operation, even when we become busy. So in that sense, this commandment is very fascinating to me, because it allows room to participate and acknowledge and use the capacity of the soul. Anyway, so I think so this soul dimension of the commandments are more interesting to me in general than the physical dimension. Yes, one can lead to the other, but at the same time, one needs to be aware of the soul dimension more so than the physical. Now that we are moving away from the existing religious systems, most of our operation is at the universal level or at the soul level. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mosvik. Do we have others who wants to share knowledge or ideas or thoughts?
I will continue, but this is in a slightly different direction, is that the C14, carbon 14 and carbon 12 stuff. These teachings in the last 3 or 4 has a lot of interesting elements. And one particular side I want to emphasize is the one that we have been engaged in, the one that of transferring energy, food energy, since the 19th of February. As Mr. Keshe has mentioned, the main function of the enhancement unit is to allow the soul to have the access to the carbon-14 highway of the universe, which carries the hydrogen or the neutron field in the both in terms of the unit of hydrogen atom or any combination of it. So, and there was a specific change that was made after the 19th. First week, we also did the feeding first week. And then it was one more week was added for us to bring our own food to the task. And these, this is one interesting aspect, is that here we are operating in the carbon 14 level. The soul's operation of receiving energy at the carbon 14 level and using it at the carbon 12 level at the physical, for our physical nutrition. This is one direction that we are at the beginning, especially on the 19th. We received food or received energy, received nutrition from the fields. Now, as we have noticed, the second week, the emphasis was put on giving food or giving nutrition. So it's the two-way interaction with the fields, the carbon 14 field and the carbon 12 field, is what is very interesting about this week. I mean, some of us, you know, who participated in this experiment received as well as provided nutrition. Now, when I talk about nutrition, it's not, I will go a little further. It's not the physical nutrition only. This includes thoughts, ideas, knowledge, all of these. Not just the food in terms of whether we had a carrot or a banana. So here we are, nutrition for our emotion, for our soul, for our collective unity, all of these. So when we participated in this, let's say more than 2 week long operation of interacting with the enhancement unit, the scope is much broader than I initially realized, like many of us here. And so as a result, it's not many kind of operation can be exercised within this context. It's not just the physical food. And the reason is that the soul of man can provide the energy to soul of physicality, and for soul of physicality can distribute whatever is necessary for the body, let's say. And some of us have done, you know, eating less even before this meeting. And once you approach this whole operation from the perspective of energy conversion, many things become easier. And perhaps the hardest part of it is that the people around us, you know, those, most of us are used to eating. And if I, let's say, not participate in eating at the level or well below the level what normally people does, and it causes a little bit of, what do you call it? Disharmony. I wouldn't call it disharmony as strong. That might be a bit too harsh a word, but as we all know, when we eat with others, there is an emotional aspect of eating together. And what it does is that it makes us kind of look like we are not participating in this emotion that goes with eating together with others. And in Keshe Foundation, for example, we not only get our nutrition from food, but this meeting itself is nutrition we are receiving from our individual experience and collective experience. And this is an exchange of energy at that level. And yeah, we are using word, but is that the only thing we are using? No, we are communicating in other levels of the fields. And in all of these situations, the participation is not one way. We are not there to take knowledge or take food or take energy or whatever. In my experience in this, I'm strictly restricting myself from the February 19th to the 2 weeks of experiment. And things, for me at least, this is my experience. Others may have different experience, but things got much easier when I started to send energy, rather than thinking about, I want my banana. So, that thought, of course, was there because it was part of our experiment. But we have the capacity to do any energy conversion. But what can we give? What can we bring to the table of this participation in giving energy? A lot. It's not just the food of our culture, the emotion, the collective knowledge, the advancement of people we have met that have shared knowledge, understanding, emotion, love, and everything to the table. We can bring all of these to this table of the Creator. And this is the biggest blessing, in my opinion, of this experiment, is that we have been given the chance to bring all that we have learned and experienced, the very best that we have to offer. Is it restricted to our experience on this planet? Maybe more. This is not the only experience at the physical level, we consciously experience this, but the soul's travel is travels far and wide. So those experiences with other beings is also part of this experience. So not just the planetary experience. So when we bring all of these for all other beings, that in the universal community, we have a lot to offer. And I will add a little bit here, which may not be as well acknowledged, but this, like, we are stopping how to eat. But this is not a new knowledge. There are cultures, there are people, although the numbers were fairly restricted, but there were people who have this ability not to consume food. And they have documented the changes that happen in an individual when the individual does not consume food. It is fairly well documented, and we can find out even people who had this ability. And so they actually learned without the enhancement in it, they learned with their own techniques. But we have achieved, as humanity, we have achieved these things, including transmutation and transportation. That's less known, but the ability to not eat is more well known. Nevertheless, all this is part of the experience that we embody now, and we can bring to the table of the Creator. And this is something, in a way, it's a way to learn to appreciate our blessings, our abilities, our achievements, the things that humanity has done over thousands of years. And these are not something that I'm saying that, people don't know. Most of us know that we have achieved this. Now with Keshe Foundation, we can make this more widely available. And so it's a transition to a sort of like making the knowledge, let's say, open source, something along those lines, make it available to everybody. So all these people before us who have done this, learned these, participated in it, so they struggled a lot against a lot of odds, much more so than perhaps we are. And with the enhancement unit, it's a lot easier to do it. But we have this ability. It has been done. People have been doing it. We are just making it available. Our task at this point is to make it available, not just to humanity, but have this human knowledge of energy conversion, transmutation, transportation available to others. So I think this eating process or feeding process, being at the table of the Creator, has been a very eye-opening experience for me and for others, because what I'm just verbalizing has been already transferred directly through the fields. And to me, the beautiful thing is to remembering that what we are, what we have achieved, and what we are achieving, and where we are going. All of this is something in our hand to do, and do it well, and make it available as soon as, and better yet, as well as we can. So thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you very much, Moshe. Beautiful, as always. In fact, the more I advance, I notice we have no intelligence to put in the game. Do the rays have intelligence? Do the plasmas and all these dynamic plasmas have intelligence? Or does the man with post-PhD and IT has intelligence? So the word physical intelligence is more and more losing its definition for me, without just naturally losing, because there is another intelligence for me which makes life much easier, which is the more and more I think the only thing is the conditions, the inertia, and the field strength, especially the field strength of the soul, which is the highest level of strength. As we detach from material world, material things, the strength of the soul shows itself, beautifies itself, and then it brings to itself what it needs. It creates T14, T12. It creates the events for us. And it's like we're gliding in the life, not walking, because it's the highest field strength. I'm sorry if it's a little barbaric words for the newcomers, but with what my friend said and what we experienced these weeks, we just made it. We just made it to higher fields, and it made things easier. I don't worry about physicality. I know that my soul creates what it needs when it needs. And I think we have achieved something which has been walked by others in the past without really suffering very much. And personally, I tell you, life is deliciously happy, even things which might happen. Some incident happened to me on my leg, and I didn't bother more than that. I was just thinking, why does it happen? And it's very funny to me and people around me that to see this attitude of myself, because I know in everything there is a lesson to advance. As far as I'm sincere, and as far as I trust my soul, and I trust the conditions, the inertia, the law of the law of the universe, the law which is or making order in everything. So I think it's a kind of new intelligence. With happiness we find, and we don't bother anymore about a PhD of Harvard or whatever, because that's more delicious. And we feel more responsible about what we become. That's me who created what I'm in, and it's me who creates what I will be. It's sincere. And so there is no time to regret, especially no regret. As long as we walk, there is no regret. And I tell you, if we go on like that, I'm sure there is nothing but happiness during the way and at the other end. Like we kind of get into another dimension of feeling things, more simple and soft, more manageable than physical life. So that was my experience also. So kind of it's good to know the commandments, especially the detachment, not to steal, all the things. Really, it helps the soul to show its glory, to show its glow, to show its power. It's like a light, which is always there. So I wish all of us to reach what Mr. Keshe has planned for us. Thank you.
Hi, sorry because I wasn't so careful because Rick just opened my micro, and I apologize because I start to talk on the phone. I have a wish from European all countries and communities. Today is the Council of European Union and the European Commission talks about including nuclear energy as a green energy. Some commissioners are for and some are against. And kindly ask you, Universal Council, to put this wish at the soul level all together, to nuclear energy to be considered and included for financing for green energy. Thank you.
Well, hello. We have plasma energy, which is cleaner than everything. Cheaper, cleaner, and no side effects. It's good for the health, it's good for environment, it's good for creating water, it's good for a lot of man's problems.
Yeah, I don't believe Mr. Keshe is in favor of nuclear energy the way it's represented nowadays with nuclear power plants. In fact, that's why he left that whole industry. But he is in favor of bringing forward nuclear energy and in reactors, but in a different form that's not as harmful as the current setups. But I can't see how we would do a soul wish for something that might go against what Mr. Keshe would want. Maybe you can reformulate the wish to a different, slightly different way to include the nuclear technology that Mr. Keshe wishes to introduce to our planet, but at the same time reducing the nuclear industry the way that it's represented now. So I don't know how that would be
you know
formulated.
better than me, Rick, of course, you know, because I am new on this science. But I know that plasma, it's also a kind of nuclear fission. And all what is based on nuclear fission, not fusion, fission.
I don't know if that's true. But
Yeah. I don't know. In my acception, plasma nuclear technology, because people knows about nuclear, but plasma is above nuclear, is more powerful at my knowledge. I don't know. Maybe you know better.
we know that the current nuclear technology is designed to provide the plutonium and other substances for nuclear bombs. That's the prime use for those reactors. Otherwise, we would have safe reactors instead of the reactors that we have, which we had in the 1950s. But they decided to go with these types of reactors so they could supply the nuclear industry, the nuclear bomb industry. So why would you want to promote that? We don't want to promote that, right? So, but we do want to promote the peaceful use of nuclear substances in plasma technology, which is a whole different thing.
Some commissioners are against and some commissioners are for. We need, in Romania, we have nuclear plants and they provide us nuclear energy for our need, because you know that Russia cut it energy, and we need to have options, I mean alternatives.
And one of the greatest threats to the world right now is the war in Ukraine over around nuclear reactors.
Yeah.
So nuclear reactors are not the answer to our problems of the world, because we have no way to store that material for 25,000 years. We can't even store something for 100 years without it totally rotting away, including in concrete. Concrete buildings don't last 100 years.
Yes, it's up to us to acknowledge and to advance the knowledge of European Commission and all these institutions and scientists to help them to understand what is about plasma, what is the truth. They don't want to hear because they think they know everything. But
Okay,
we
well,
have to
how would
build
you
friendship with them. This is the way.
how would you formulate something that the Universal Council can put a wish toward in that regard?
To illuminate the soul of scientists from Europe and from the world to be open to plasma science as an option for an alternative for this type of energy, which is based on consumption of and depletion of resources. They are against the engine with internal I don't know English. Yes.
Now it's getting to be a very long wish now.
Yeah.
So we have to make it in one sentence, basically, one short sentence, because otherwise the soul can't remember long, complicated sentences.
And what we can do, I'm asking you now, one alternative for these engines for cars, which are using oil and
yeah, I don't think that's part of the soul-based wish to stop something or to
not
do
to
that
stop,
kind of
but
thing.
to do something, to replace, to
well, what needs to be done? You already said what needs to be done.
Yeah.
You already said what needs to be done, which is to elevate the scientists of the world.
Yeah,
and that's the simple thing that's what the Universal Council is here to do, is to help with the elevation of those on this planet. And that's what the wishes are generally toward, is an elevation of something or another, elevation of world leaders, elevation of the religious leaders, elevation of all the souls, all the suffering souls, and so on and so forth. They've done a number of wishes for elevations. And we have had wishes for elevations for the scientists and for the IAEA negotiations and so on. But perhaps we can have a more specific wish for scientists involved in conversion to the plasma technology or something like that. But it has to be short and simple for the soul, so it doesn't get too much into the complex physicality of our thinking process. Can you try another formulation perhaps and bring it all together in one succinct sentence?
Just a parenthesis. For me, elevation of the soul means knowledge. This is the elevation of the soul, is to get the right knowledge, to be connected to the bio-internet of the cosmos, where the truth is there. We are disconnected. So my wish and our wish at the soul level is to reconnect and connect the soul at this biologic bio-internet of the unicos, or of the universe, of all people on this planet, and especially scientists and decision makers.
Okay, well,
thank you.
I think you got the intent of the of the wish through now.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, and I'm present for your wish.
Thank you, Rick.
Excuse me, if I can add, is that scientists work for a boss, and boss works for a Dazan in a frame. And scientists might like something, but they're not supposed to offer that as long as the boss is not okay, because the boss wants profit and power. Like when I proposed 2017, when I traveled to Iran, I proposed the agriculture because I found it magnificent. I had experience in my flowers. I saw a flower, a summer flower in -3, 4, having 100 of buttons, flower buttons. So it was wonderful with plasma experience. So when I went to agriculture in Iran, the agriculture division of research, the person in charge told me there is no peer review for this science, so I'm not supposed to accept it. Later on, my uncle was very interested, went to that place, and the guy told him, the matter is from upside over me, they have said no to this science. So the matter is when the up power, the up authority says no, these scientists and researchers have to keep their job. And that's why Mr. Keshe says we go without obligatory okay of the government. We do it like I do in my home, I do it in my country. So the thing is, scientists that have their job also, and they cannot do anything they like. But in the wish we had for the leaders, to raise the leaders to open up to the science, I think it covers this wish of Salome, which the new science, which is clean, which is advanced, which goes into the energy of the nucleus, which is the energy of the creation. Then if they open up the leaders, everybody else opens up, the news, the Fox, the CNN. So I think when we pray for elevation of leaders, or in future in 24th, it all covers also the scientifics. I wish. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. It's Dean here. I'd just like to come in and just add to this discussion. So bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one nation, one race, for justice and world peace. So I'd just like to read something for you, which is from the plasmacircle.com. And it's the vision for our near future, MT Keshe. And it's from a transcription, which is from the 331 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And it says, in a recent Knowledge Seekers Workshop, an Iranian woman asked Mr. Keshe about his vision for the near future for mankind. The question: I want to know, what is the vision for the next 3 years or more? I don't know. And then it's got 416. I am new to this science. And Mr. Keshe spoke his answer. So Mr. Keshe said, our vision is very simple. It's laid out very clearly. We'll see world peace. We already entered it. It's just a matter of polishing it. Some nations will clean up their own house for what they have done wrong before. But that is their internal war. between themselves, not us. As we see the United States, otherwise it's cleanup time for themselves. Progressively, we see the evolution in science and technology. And a lot of things in the next 3 to 5 years will not be what we see, what we know today. Mainly, we will not see armies. We will see the eradication of military forces due to 2 or 3 factors. The knowledge brought out and will bring out will make the present arms obsolete. Secondly, the present situation in the world does not allow no nation to buy arms. They cannot afford it. Unless they are corrupt nations who try to just put some money in the bank. It doesn't matter what the nation does. We'll see the eradication of hunger in the next 3 to 5 years. I had this discussion in the teachings last Tuesday, that we were talking about the satellites. In fact, the Keshe Foundation does not need to rely on satellites. You have the technology much better than those satellites. The system which you develop will fly and supply the energy needs for food. Satellites in reality have become obsolete. In that sense, 418 in brackets. But at the same time, we see the eradication of total and absolute eradication of use of fossil fuel. Very soon, very rapidly, we'll see the end of use of fossil fuel. Because once the new technology on the magnetic and gravitational field released, people will take the engines out of their cars. So simple. This is what we are going to do, hopefully, in a very short time in Iran, in the university. This is one of the first projects I will be in it. It's on the table of the work and the university wants to do. And I said, I am in it with the KF knowledge seekers. We want to bring a special system out. I am in it for everything which is going to be. So we see many, many old tankers you see on the high seas, they'll stay there. They'll rot and they'll pollute. And so we have to plan for them. It's the beauty of what we'll get back. We'll see by reduction in the use of what we call fossil fuel, a lot of changes. We'll see new illnesses due to the change of atmosphere, because we go back to more clean atmosphere and we're not used to it. We see the end of the drugs and the drug trafficking in the next 3 to 5 years. We do not see anything in that line. What I see is the end of what we call the present propulsion flight as we introduce more and more new flight systems, because they'll become obsolete by their nature. What I see, mankind will keep the space stations as a memory of good old days. Very soon, man will move beyond space into Mars and Moon and beyond the solar system in a matter of minutes, 420 in brackets. We see the end of kingship and leadership. It will become a collective human race to support itself. I see the end of hungers through the process as I explained, and the same time with medicine. What I see is very simple. It is the fact of what I know my technology have. And in fact, we see the world governments will change to it because of the corona. Corona wasn't that bad. It brought a lot of good things. What we see is more or less the crash in the property market. People will give their houses to live in it because of the present knowledge and what is to come in the next 5 to 10 years. People do not need to live in crowded cities. There will be an option. What we see, one of the first things in the next maybe 2 to 3 years is a part of the program of the Keshe Foundation. What we will be working in the background is end to mining. That will come very, very fast. And the beginning of it is already set up in Arizona testing centers, which means we do not go into the resources to deplete and destroy the farms, the gardens, the yards, the jungles, and whatever. We will have respect for the planet. The knowledge will come through transfer of fields. We don't let the earth to do. In so many ways, I see the end of slaughtering animals. That is one of the first things mankind will stop. The nature will find its own balance. And this is due to be able to deliver food, or what we call energy for life. We eradicate the use of animals. This is 100% sure will be on the card. On the other hand, 422 in brackets, we'll see the end of use of and destruction of the planet. These all will come together, now especially that we start the corona. Now that the technology comes, people have to accept it because of corona, and as it comes, we accepted that it works. We start building the research and the development in the new technology of the plasma and understanding the work of the universe will change that rapidly. What I see is colonization. Man will start colonizing very, very fast. We go to New York for the best restaurant. We go to Mars for a coffee and back. These are not dreams. These are what is on the card. You will see. We will make these places to fit us as living, as we have created the dome of peace. We'll create a dome of life. Living on a different planet, in so many ways, we will see entrepreneurs will not open beautiful restaurants and service stations. They'll build these centers across and different routes that people can and watch the beauty of the creation. Mankind's way of working will change in the next 20 years. Well, none of us will work because we have to work to live. We will work with the pleasure of it. We'll all become citizens and we'll all become devoted to serve because everybody else is busy doing nothing and everybody else will do what they like. I don't vision. I know what is to come. We'll see a new life, a new cycle, a new birth. And that birth will change everything which comes with it. Birth of a new cycle for man. And with it will come a birth of new cycle for the whole of the universe. 424 in brackets. 4.24 in brackets. We are the tiniest bit of dust, but we become the important dust. I see a lot, end of religions, because every man becomes a religious to the order of the correct order. We believe through the souls of ours, and we'll see what the prophets saw. We'll live by their ethos, not by us talking about it. There is one thing for sure, and that's for sure, 100%. We'll see a lot of marriages, intermarriages, between the mankind and other races. Who are they? Sorry, who are here too shy to show themselves because now man has quieted, man has matured. We will see that they will not hide in the clothes of man. They will be themselves. And this will bring a lot of shock to a lot of us because we don't eat them. We don't see them as food. In so many ways, we have changed the course of humanity and we'll show human race will respond to it. My vision is very simple because I know what I have brought and I know what I have planned. and I know what I am delivering, and I know what I am going to get for it. And there is one thing for sure. I will die in the most beautiful place.
In the universe, in the matter state.
In the physical dimension. Thank you, Mark. Thank you all for listening.
Well, thank you, Dean. That certainly addresses a lot of what Salamia was talking about, and the idea with scientists.
I think this is the right question to her answer. And we have to focus on what is to come. The test we do with the feeding from the body and the soul is part of the total services that are to come this year and next year. And they will be the answer to that question, what is needed. So thank you very much all together. Is there anyone else?
Much love, and thank you for contribution and for good wishes from your pure souls. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Salamia. Okay, Rick, then we can go to the next slide.
Well, one thing I would like to add,
Yeah, of course.
Bosvik again. The tomorrow's meeting, Rick's meeting, the reactor group meeting. I think the C14 and C12 discussion. I would like to go into the more technical side of it. So I think that plasma reactor group meeting is a more appropriate meeting for that purpose. And so if anybody is willing to or interested in participating in that, that would be fun to do tomorrow. And so I am thinking of talking a little bit more about the technical side of it there. So that's the only thing I wanted to mention.
Sure, that's a good idea, Moshfek, and people are welcome to join the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which starts at 7 a.m. tomorrow, March 15th. Yeah, we have a number of topics. Virtually anything is fair game in that group, and the carbon-14 information would be a good topic to cover there. Okay, is there anything else from anyone before we wrap up here?
Rick, hi, it's me again. Sorry, I just got a bit emotional at the end there. Sorry. That was from thinking about Mr. Keshe and all that he's doing for humanity and all the souls present. So if I may, can I read this last bit for the Universal Council? So we are here to serve, not to be served, the Universal Council, and we thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dean.
Thank you, Jacko.
Okay, then we can wrap things
up.
Thank
you. Very good. Well, thank you, everyone, for attending today, and special thanks to all the members of the Universal Council for presenting today's workshop, which is the 265th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice, here on Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. As I said, the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group will be the next public teaching workshop. And of course, we have the Knowledge Seekers workshop coming up Thursday at 9 a.m. as per usual. I think that's all our announcements for now. So again, thank you everyone for attending today. And we hope to see you in the next public teaching workshop. Bye for now.